Welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a 2-page fall layout using the Bungalow Lane Collection by Paige Evans. I have, I believe, 7 photos I am going to try to get on this page. Kind of more a simple design for this 2-page layout, but in the end, I really like the way that it turns out. You will see kind of a, I guess not a boo-boo, so to speak, but a mistake that I made. I had a really great idea in the beginning here with this leaf paper. So I wanted to incorporate kind of 2 half circles on this layout. I had it sketched out beforehand and then saw this paper and thought, oh my goodness, this paper has the leaves kind of going in a circle. That's perfect. I will try to cut this in a semicircle. It did not work. Nope, did not work whatsoever. I keep trying to trim it and go around in this circle, and it is so lopsided. It did not turn out whatsoever. So you can see now I'm really trying to figure out what to do, how to kind of fix this. I'm looking at the other side, seeing if, I can fix it. If I don't know, see if I can figure out how to cut it on the other half of that paper. But I'm going to give up at the moment and just place my photos here. They are just going straight across the page. And then I am going to have one photo that I trimmed down that is going to be kind of on the bottom of the page. So again, just placing my photos across. I did decide though on page 2 to pop the middle one up and leave that one a full 4x6. I trimmed the other 5 photos there down a little bit just to give me more space on my layout to add pattern papers, and then also add that photo to the bottom of page 1. So I apologize. The lighting on the right hand side of my video is not very good. I'm gonna have to work on that. So what I did instead, I decided I would go get my iPad so I could use my Cricut and cut a circle. So that's what I did. I ended up just using my Cricut, cutting a circle, which worked. Really tried to cut it as big as I could, I guess. And I think this is a navy paper. I bring in a few different pattern papers for this layout. So with the circle, again, I cut it in half. I did end up having to trim it down even more, just because my photos, take up so much space. And in my sketch, I knew that I wanted to kind of have the half circles, one on top and one on bottom. However, in the sketch, I thought I would have the top half on page 1 and the bottom half on page 2. But I decided with that photo at the bottom of page 1, that half circle would give me a great space for my title. And so I just decided to switch it up, while I was creating the layout. I am backing both of those photos, the one that's going to pop up on page 2 and then the one on the bottom there. I do end up using my scraps here of this leaf paper, and I am going to end up adding it so it looks like that paper is going behind the semicircle. I just cut it into little pieces so that I could get the most out of that. And so you can see that I am adding that to both half circles, and I was able to actually kind of have those papers, the leaves on the papers, round with the half circle, if that makes sense. So if you look at page 1, the leaves are coming down around that half circle, and then page 2, they're coming up and around that one. So just kind of, I made that leaf paper work. And then same thing with these larger strips of paper. I did try to place them so that it kind of just gave you that circular feel. So now that I have that leaf paper, again, I just kept it the same width to go all the way across the page. I thought, I knew I wanted strips of paper at the top and the bottom, and just really liked the way that that looked going all the way across the page. I then cut this green kind of foliage paper into, I think, just a 1/2 inch strip, and I wanted a barrier between the pattern papers and my photos, and so I did just add that to both the top and the bottom, just kind of following where the photos are. Again, I kept that middle paper up because I knew it would be easier to do the strips of paper that are going behind it just without it already being taped on the page. So when I'm done kind of with my base page, I will go ahead and commit to that placement, I guess, of that photo. I wanted to double back that photo as well as pop it up. So I'm just going through the papers of the Bungalow Lane collection, trying to see if there was anything else I wanted to use besides the yellow, but decided against it and decided to use the yellow. So decided against any other papers. There's some yellow in the leaf paper, and so I just thought that worked pretty well. So now that kind of my base is finished, I am going to commit to that. I actually don't think I commit yet. I have some larger embellishments that I'm going to use that tuck under there, so I don't think I committed to taping it down yet. Still waiting to the last minute until I know how I'm going to embellish. So these Alpha stickers, I think, are actually from the Garden Shop collection by Paige Evans, but the colors worked pretty well with the colors of Bungalow Lane. And so I am going to make it work, and I was just going to make my title Apple Picking. So I wanted to kind of overlap the P on my photo, so I backed that with that same yellow paper as I did on page 2. But wanted to, like I said, be able to overlap the P onto that photo. I recently haven't really been doing my titles just in a straight line. I've kind of been mixing it up a little bit. I do kind of like the way that it looks, and then also it really bugs me when it's not completely straight if I am trying to keep it straight, and so this just allows me from kind of being too picky, I guess. So I set aside some of the embellishments that I thought I might use before I started the layout, and so I'm kind of going through those, seeing where I could place them. I really did like that Grown with Love, and felt like it was okay to cover up some of that bottom photo or that photo on the left of that page. And then there was this little journaling card that I thought would work great. I could just use, put the date, and the location, and that kind of covered up a little bit of that photo as well. But really just wanted to use up some of this collection. I have had it for quite a while and haven't really used it very much whatsoever. So now, again, just finishing off the embellishment clusters. I kind of have the base now for where I'm going to embellish. This So Happy actually came out of a Pink Fresh Studio collection, I believe. But again, color-wise, it matched really nicely. And so I popped that up on some foam tape and added that to the top there. And I'm going to add to that, as well as add to the other clusters. There are some clear stickers in this sticker book, which I always struggle with, but I wanted to use up some of that along with the flares from Scrap and Happy Studio. I have so many cute fall flares. I have mini flares, epoxy flares, canvas flares, you name it, I have it. So really just trying to use up some of those. In the, I think it's like a floral ephemera pack, there are lots of leaves, and so I thought I was going to use those at the top and kind of at the bottom, just tuck those in, but they're so large. I felt like it kind of just took over the page almost. I am going to end up using one to the bottom left behind that small square photo. I'm going to add just a small cluster down there and just felt like that was a good base for that. So I'm going to add that and then add a flare down there as well. And again, just so many cute flares from Scrap and Happy Studio. If you are new, definitely check it out. I love them. I have so many, and she's got flares for pretty much any occasion you could ever imagine. It's just great. And no, I'm not sponsored by any means. I just really love her products and love that it's a small business. She gets help from her family, but that's it. So I just love that. There were these pretty gold, like, I guess foliage. It's not really leaves, but I added one to that top cluster, onto that navy paper, and I really like the way that that looked. I am not a huge fan of clear stickers. I don't usually leave enough white space to use them, but I really like that navy paper is subtle enough in the pattern that clear sticker really worked well up there. I'm adding to the bottom, there was that cute circular ephemera, and just wanted to kind of bring in some more leaves to this layout and use up some of the sticker sheet. Again, the leaves in the ephemera pack were quite large, but there were some in the sticker sheet that were smaller and that worked well for my layout. So we are just kind of putting on in finishing touches. I do add a couple of those small phrase stickers. Again, I kind of made them crooked on purpose and then added some small clear floral stickers underneath. Added a couple of clear stickers to that journaling tag on page 2. And then I have these puffy buttons from the collection, so I'm just kind of scattering those throughout the layout as well. And I know I mentioned this with the Pink Fresh collection last week, or a week or so ago, I guess at this point. But this is probably a collection that I would be okay with getting rid of as well. If anybody is interested in what I have left, I have quite a bit left. So let me know if you're interested in this collection, and I will give you a deal. But I hope you guys enjoyed this layout, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.